And one of her exes was very clear. He said to me, I was warned by another person in beauty pageant world that girl will do anything to get to the top, and her mother will do anything to help her get to the top.
I love submitting to Charli because
Candace Owens just shook the table with a bold claim about Erika Kirk. And now people are looking at Charli's relationship real different than before. The vibe has shifted fast, and the side eyes are getting louder by the minute. According to Candace, this wasn't some calm, picture-perfect love story at all. She's painting it like something way more layered from day one. And now people are questioning every little detail they thought was solid. She's hinting that Erika might have been making moves way earlier than anyone noticed. And that idea alone has folks raising eyebrows instantly. The more this spreads, the more people feel like there's a whole backstory nobody saw coming. And it's not slowing down either. Candace also claims that Erika's publicly stated age might not fully line up with certain records out there, and that's adding serious tension to the conversation. People aren't brushing that off either, because if there's even a small mismatch, it changes how the whole situation looks. That single detail has people talking nonstop, digging deeper, and questioning everything they thought they understood. If Candace is even a little right about Erika not being fully clear about her age,
it was always a lie. She worked for TPUSA, she co-hosted sometimes with Charli, and she even made content of her own. Once he did, she immediately took his role as the head of TPUSA.
Then the timeline of when she got close to Charli suddenly feels way more intense than it first seemed, and people can't stop analyzing it. What used to sound like a simple, low-key beginning is now getting torn apart from every angle, and people are looking at it with a completely different mindset. This isn't just light curiosity anymore, it's full-on scrutiny, with folks asking serious questions and trying to piece together what really went on behind the scenes. Now people are pulling up old clips of Erika, replaying every moment where she talked about how they first connected, trying to line up her words with the timeline and see what actually matches. Every detail is getting examined closely, like nothing can slip through anymore, and the pressure to figure it out just keeps building. But what's really making people uncomfortable isn't just the numbers or the age conversation. It's the idea being pushed that Erika may have used that gap to her advantage, slowly securing her spot in Charli's life step by step. That possibility has people viewing the entire situation in a new light, and the questions just keep stacking up without clear answers. The way Candace breaks everything down piece by piece makes it feel less like a natural relationship and more like something carefully thought out, at least according to critics watching closely. That kind of framing has people rethinking everything, because instead of a simple connection, it's now being seen as a calculated move. And that shift has everyone paying way closer attention than ever before. When it's laid out like that, it hits completely different and starts changing how people see the whole story. The tone shifts quick, and suddenly folks are looking at everything with a more critical eye. That's where Candace's investigative series, Bright of Charli, really steps into the spotlight, especially episode 4, which has people talking nonstop. Without that episode, a lot of people say they never would have even heard about a reported 10-year stretch in Erika Kirk's early life, where her birthday shows up differently across multiple court and child support records.
Everything about this marriage, everything about this divorce, everything about Erika's early years is shady.
And that detail alone has people raising eyebrows fast. During that stretch, Erika's birthday is listed as November 22nd, 1988. But here's where things start to look confusing. Based on current public records, her birthday is said to be November 20th, and Candace points out how unusual it is to see that kind of mismatch inside official court documents, especially in child support filings, where details like a child's birthday are expected to be accurate and carefully checked. That kind of inconsistency stands out in a major way, and people aren't ignoring it. They're asking serious questions and looking closer at every detail. Candace even shared what she calls receipts, putting out copies of those court documents, and that's when the conversation really picked up speed and started spreading everywhere. Suddenly, it didn't feel like just speculation anymore. People started digging deeper, lining up details and trying to figure out what could actually explain those differences. Erika's supporters had been brushing off the earlier inconsistencies as simple mistakes, nothing major, but once those screenshots started making rounds, the energy shifted fast and people stopped looking at it so casually. Now, some are saying this might be more than just a small mix-up, and the conversation has gotten way louder. The debate is fully split, with one side calling it confusion and the other saying it deserves a serious second look, no shortcuts. In some of those documents, the dates look scratched out and rewritten by hand, and that instantly grabbed people's attention. In others, there's no notary stamp at all, and a few don't even have a judge's signature, which raises even more questions about how solid those records really are.
He's a phenomenal leader, and the way that he loves me, like, melts me to want to be able to help. How can I help you?
When people noticed that, it made the situation feel even more uncertain, like something isn't fully adding up. That means for nearly a 10-year stretch of Erika's early life, there isn't a clean, consistent paper trail showing her exact age. And that gap is exactly what has people talking nonstop, going back and forth trying to make sense of it. At first, it might not seem like a big deal, but Candace is saying this is where things start getting serious. According to her, this paper trail connects with other details she believes don't quite line up about Erika, including how carefully timed her relationship with Charlie looks when everything is placed side by side. Erika has always described their relationship as a normal love story. Two people who met, connected, and built something real together over time. But Candace is saying that once you start lining up the dates, the interviews, and the way Erika talks about her past, some of those details begin to feel off. From Candace's point of view, it doesn't come across as something simple, and that's exactly what's keeping people locked into this story and questioning what really happened. Not some fully organic romance at all. At least that's the angle Candace is pushing. Instead, she suggests it looks more like something carefully put together, driven by strategy rather than pure emotion, in her opinion. In this version, Erika isn't seen as someone who just happened to meet Charlie during a work interview that naturally turned into something deeper. Candace frames it like Erika may have been very intentional, possibly choosing Charlie at a key turning point in her life. That idea alone has people watching closely, trying to connect every dot and figure out if there's more behind the scenes. This is where Candace says she starts noticing a pattern, and it's got people paying serious attention.
Idea that she didn't want it is just not true. It's so objectively not true. Erika, without question, and anybody who's being objective and honest and looking at her history of the people that she dated and the people that she wanted to be in close proximity to, can guarantee to you that this girl wanted to be famous, like very badly wanted to be famous one way or the other.
When she looks at Erika's past relationships, she points out that Charlie seems very different from the kind of men Erika was previously linked to. And that contrast is exactly what keeps the conversation alive. It's not just about who she dated, it's about how different those connections look when placed side by side, and why that shift even happened in the first place. Before Charlie, Erika was linked to pro athletes, entertainers, and even political figures. A totally different circle from where she ended up later. It paints a picture that feels completely separate from the life she stepped into afterward, and people are noticing that shift more than ever now. She once described her then-boyfriend, pro baseball player Tyler J.T. Massey, as her favorite human, her best friend, and an incredible boyfriend. And that statement is now getting a lot of attention again. Because when you compare that to her eventual choice of Charlie, it stands out even more in Candace's narrative and has people asking why things change so drastically. For critics watching closely, that contrast raises even more questions about what might have really been happening behind the scenes. A lot of people online are convinced Tyler might have been the one that slipped away, especially since those engagement-style photos made it look like they were right on the edge of getting married. That image stuck in people's minds, and now it's being pulled back into the spotlight in a major way. It adds a whole new layer to how people are re-examining her relationship timeline and the decisions she made along the way. Before all of this, Erika was consistently dating within those same high-profile circles, moving as a reality TV personality and staying close to entertainers, influencers, and people with status. That pattern is exactly what people are focused on. Now, trying to figure out what it could mean when everything is lined up side by side. Some photos even went viral that made it seem like Erika may have also been linked to Cabot Phillips, who later became associated with Charlie's organization, TPUSA. And that detail is only adding more attention to the speculation, keeping the conversation going strong. It has people connecting dots, looking at how those circles may have overlapped, and questioning whether those connections were just random or something more calculated. The deeper people look, the more they start wondering if it was all coincidence or if there was a bigger plan behind it. On the speculation side, in Candace's version of events, she claims Erika didn't just end up with these men by chance. Instead, she suggests Erika may have been intentional, possibly choosing partners she believed could help elevate her career in different ways, at least from that perspective. That idea alone has people debating nonstop and trying to figure out how much of it could actually be true. Candace even brings up Erika's mom, Lori, saying she may have played a role in shaping that mindset, which adds another intense layer to the story. According to Candace, Lori may have influenced how Erika approached relationships and opportunities, and that detail has people going back and forth, unsure what to believe. Early on, Candace claims Lori taught Erika how to move in high-level spaces, get into the right rooms, and understand which connections could bring more visibility, status, and influence. From that angle, Candace argues Erika may have noticed Charlie as soon as she saw him as a major opportunity connected to her long-term path. That's why, in Candace's view, it didn't really matter that Charlie seemed different from the type she was usually linked to, or even that there was an age gap between them. The move still lines up strategically, at least in how Candace presents it, and that framing has people paying even closer attention. Publicly, Erika is said to have recently turned 37, while Charlie was 31 when he passed, putting the difference at around 5 years, which keeps the timeline part of the conversation active. But Candace suggests, based on the documents and clips she shared, that the age gap could actually be bigger, and that claim has people questioning things even more. The moment that idea hit, it pushed the conversation into a whole new lane, with people rechecking timelines and looking closer at every detail. She also points to how quickly Erika stepped into a major role within what Charlie built, which many observers have already called unusual and worth a deeper look. In Candace's framing, that fast rise stands out as a key detail, suggesting Erika may have held a powerful position in his life much earlier than people expected. Candace argues that this level of trust wasn't random and could have played a serious role in how things unfolded for him. According to her narrative, it shows just how much Charlie may have relied on Erika, and that's exactly why people are watching closely and trying to connect every part of the story without missing anything. In episode 7 of her Bride of Charlie investigative series, Candace zooms in on how Erika has been presenting herself publicly as a struggling single woman, working nonstop to support her family, echoing a similar story she shares about her mother. That image has connected with a lot of people, but Candace is saying there may be more beneath the surface than what's being shown. According to Candace, that portrayal doesn't fully match what she believes the reality looks like. She claims Charlie made sure his family was financially secure while he was alive, and says that after his passing, Erika reportedly received at least $10 million from his estate. And that number doesn't even include any possible life insurance, along with reported donations from Charlie's friends and supporters, plus the major TPUSA platform Erika stepped into shortly after his passing, which keeps the debate going strong. The conversation doesn't slow down there either, because now people are starting to question how all these pieces fit together long-term. With so many claims, timelines, and financial details being discussed, the focus is shifting toward the bigger picture and what it could all mean when everything is laid out side by side. Some critics are now asking whether Erika's public, image fully matches the level of access and influence Candace is describing. That gap between perception and possibility is what's keeping people locked into the story, going back through interviews, appearances, and past statements to see if anything stands out differently now. Candace continues to frame it as a situation where presentation and reality might not completely align, suggesting that what people see on the surface could be only part of a much larger story. That idea alone has people paying extra attention to how Erika communicates, what she emphasizes, and what might be left unsaid. Others, though, are pushing back hard, saying a lot of these claims are built on assumptions rather than confirmed facts. They argue that differences in records or timelines don't automatically prove intent, and that it's easy for speculation to spiral when every detail is being picked apart under pressure. That split reaction is exactly why the conversation keeps growing, because for every claim being highlighted, there's someone else questioning how solid it really is. And with more clips, documents, and opinions continuing to circulate, the story isn't fading out anytime soon. It's only getting more attention as people keep trying to figure out what actually adds up and what doesn't. Now the spotlight is getting even brighter, and the pressure around this story is only building. With so many angles being discussed, people are starting to focus on what could come next, and whether any of these claims will actually be addressed directly. Some are watching closely to see if Erika responds in detail or clears up the questions being raised about timelines, records, and her role in Charlie's life. Because at this point, the silence or response itself could shape how the public continues to view everything moving forward. Candace, on the other hand, is continuing to double down on her narrative, pointing to the same patterns and details she believes are too consistent to ignore. She's making it clear that, in her view, this isn't random or misunderstood. And that stance is keeping her supporters fully engaged in the discussion. Meanwhile, others are urging caution, pointing out that complex personal histories can easily be misinterpreted when they're broken down piece by piece online. They argue that without full context, even real documents and clips can lead to conclusions that don't tell the whole story. Still, that hasn't slowed the momentum at all. The mix of bold claims, unanswered questions, and circulating receipts has created a situation where people feel like they're watching something unfold in real time. And nobody wants to miss what comes out next. At this stage, the story has moved beyond just a debate and into something much bigger, with every new detail, reaction, or theory adding another layer. And as long as those layers keep stacking up, people are going to stay locked in, watching closely to see how it all plays out. At this point, the story has reached a level where every small detail feels like it could change the entire narrative. What started as a few claims has now turned into a full-blown conversation, with people analyzing timelines, relationships, and decisions from every possible angle. Some believe there are still major pieces missing, while others think the situation is being overanalyzed beyond what the facts can actually support. That divide is exactly what's keeping this topic alive, because no matter which side people lean toward, everyone seems to agree that there are still questions left unanswered. Candace's breakdown has clearly struck a nerve, pushing people to look deeper and think twice about what they once accepted at face value. At the same time, it's also sparked debates about fairness, accuracy, and how quickly narratives can shift when new claims enter the spotlight. As more information, opinions, and reactions continue to surface, this situation isn't cooling off anytime soon. If anything, it's gaining more attention by the day, with people staying locked in to catch any new update, response, or detail that could bring more clarity, or even more confusion. One thing is clear, though. This story has people watching closely, questioning everything, and waiting to see what comes next. And until there are clearer answers, the conversation is only going to keep growing louder. If you've been following this situation, now I want to hear from you. What do you think is really going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to see it. because this conversation is far from over and you don't want to miss what comes next.